I recently found a spot to sit at the base of the and yeah, it's a nice little spot out of the rain. There's some serious foliage going there. Thank you. And I was looking for it because it's the second really cool spot I found, and it's also a bit of a rain shadow, so it's good. It's not too cold today, but we do have to get into a hot bath when we get home for sure. Ah, just been cursing people all day, clearing out my system. It's like when I take a bath, as an example, when I'm in a bath and I'm strong enough to go, fuck you, parasites, because the human brain, demonic or schizoid, is different levels of excess um, production of the most parasitical nature of the human mind, which at its core level is to protect itself. So humans become more evil the more they have to resort to the more parasitical nature of groups, which operates in most of the ways it hurts people in a way that is never charged with a crime, but charges the right thing because the scapegoat is charged. The scapegoat is inflicted with the discharge of violence. And people make their peace with that. But I should have a pretty good life. I'm trying to hang on for dear life in my mother's home. She doesn't want me there. Richard would say, well, you should leave, but you know, she needs me. She can't afford really to fully live on her income. So, but also she needs me until she doesn't. I'll be there until she doesn't need me anymore. And if she started recognizing what I've done for her and started thinking about what my son has done for me and how my life has improved by having him around and what an amazing person he is, and was able to frame that so she didn't have to feel bad about herself. And I could think about what an amazing person my mom is, and I didn't have to worry about her hurting me or suffering from hurting me, and that if she ever suffered proportional guilt to what she'd done, I dare say she'd probably put, bad influences. I've had to become a very, very equal. And I do judge you ill, my mother. Oh yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people out there to mess with your mother, as it were. You know, mess with you, mess with your home. But they're probably environmentalists, I told this one sociopathic woman, she was telling herself how strong I was and why. And she was becoming, or in some sense, it's like I lured her into becoming, because I can allow sociopaths to see an empty space where I'm sitting, because they're always looking for an empty space in nice guys. Women start getting what they want from a man by seeing something empty in him that she can fill. Right? They're always codependent. If nothing else, that's the prerogative of people who know each other a long time or are related. Your son needs something. Your brother needs something. That's another matter entirely. If you're a competent doctor and you're like, I know you need these pills, It's okay to see things lacking, but to go the next step and say, you know how to fill that, or your fucking spiritual fucking schizoid hoodoo is going to make them feel better after you've accused them of something that's more your problem than theirs. You can't pay me enough for fucking raping me in that way. I'd rather take your balls off and shove them down your mother's throat. Don't give me unsolicited advice. Hail the 420. The birthday of Bing Crosby. Wow, those rocks are really coming down. Whew. I almost saw the spirit person coming down from her house Christmas Eve. You know that a whorehouse is a place where it's in my house. There's a whorehouse in my house? Shit. There's something missing. Hold on. Oh, that's okay. It's alright. It's alright. I've got both joints. I put it back in its original container. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I was worried there for a second. There's some real bird activity out here too. Wow. Good spot to sit and observe. Why don't you use your words? You need a judgment. Sociopaths and schizoids operating in the schizoid capacity cannot hear anything you're saying. So people will be like, hey, no, I'm hurting, this is good, this is scary. They don't hear that. They don't hear that. This can be in public, this can be around witnesses, they don't hear you. And the people around them assume, hey, they must be right. They've always got people around them to let them go on to that. Wow. Let that all go to the cursing of evil people. To the cursing of evil people. Projection is 9/10 of the law. Not well, yes. Projection, you force someone to be possessed. Entity that is eminently worth attacking by otherwise innocent people. That's scapegoating. And they are functioning in the schizoid capacity of ceremonial doable witchcraft. What else is there? Yeah, just things on my heart. Things that are still around me with my aura. It was 2 days over Christmas. It stopped for a few days. It was amazing. And then it started again. And I just think, you motherfucker. The people in this one store, it's such a fucking box store across from the Masonic Hall. Holy motherfucking. Everyone in that store is a schizoid. In health food stores in general, they're all schizoids. They're all schizoids. You think about it, the whole vegetarian, vegan world is pretty fucking weird. It's pretty fucking weird, man. These people are not getting enough protein. They're fucking out of their minds. They all have eating disorders. Right? Oh, they're fucking crazy. Creepiest people I've ever met. Yoga people, health food people. The West Coast is filled with so-called natural alternative healers that are all fucking pieces of shit. Living out the religion of the day. If it involved putting rusty nails up their asses, they would do that too. Oh, but there's proof. We have proof of our beliefs. They're provable. Homeopathy works. Mm-hmm. I do concern myself with it. I've lived in a lot of different places where you meet these types of people. And they're all creepy. The women want to fuck you, or they want to attack you. As soon as they don't think they can fuck you anymore, or they don't have enough of an advantage to be able to think that they can fuck you, they start to fuck with you. The one sure thing. Oh, here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow, I picked the right time to sit down. Look at that. I was talking to this one fucked up man, and he was saying how, for some reason, he got onto, the river, things falling, and I said, oh, I guess it happens mostly for. I was trying to help his argument, right? He was really trying to say, like, it's safe to swim there in the summer. These people with parasites, how they think, but I met a lot of them around here. Parasites. Schizoids, and schizoid people. And he's like, oh, we swim there. He's saying this in a very sort of territorial sort of way, like, oh, look, like, this is our swimming hole. Like, this is, oh, it's different. I spend a lot of time out here, and it's just, you can tell the way people talk. Any case, I'm like, oh, because there's a sign there saying it's dangerous, right? And you have to keep track of that. And I said, and your stuff falling, I'm telling him as we're standing there. And I said, well, maybe most of the falling happens in the winter, I guess, eh? And then he said, no, because they contradict you right away. Oh no, we had like a whole big fall down there in February, which is still the winter. So, to them, and all of a sudden they just don't know basic things. I was talking to this one lady on the phone, this transit company, and she lost the ability to tell night from day because it didn't fit her argument. When a schizoid comes back around and ignoring you for one, and then trying to tell you how to prove themselves wrong, and then they'll just be like, and then it's like they're back to zero again. It's like, chase their own tail, because that's what they're doing. Because they're not grounded. You can tell someone's not grounded when they're chasing their own tail, right? Isn't that fascinating? You just keep track of these things, right? It's amazing that the BC ferries, I've seen so many native people getting harassed. One day, this ferry is going 15 knots, it's carrying over 1,000 people, And I know this because he admits it. The navigation officer came out just to abuse a couple of native people, and then accused them of disturbing him from being able to navigate the ferry. Right? He actually left the navigation of a major government ship to go and harass native people who had paid for that passage who weren't doing anything. It was fucking amazing, that. Fucking white people. Out of their fucking minds, right? He's schizoid. These crimes that are not crimes are schizoid crimes. And you'll think, am I crazy? So what you have to do, and what's really helpful in a lot of parts of life, is go for a walk or write things down. If you think it's weird, write it down. Tell a video, put it on video, listen to it yourself, or listen to yourself talk about it in some way that you can focus your mind. People say, oh, who you're talking to. Well, since I started writing, you're just focusing your mind on what? Whoever needs to hear this the most, whoever wants to hear it the most, hearing it the most, or all three of you. Whatever, anyone who, like, that things can come across. And you sound this out to yourself and you go, what's wrong with this? And what you'll see is that it's never like, it doesn't seem always totally black and white. You might say, oh, they're playing music or this, but then the door wasn't really open and there's like a high wind going. It's just very weird. And so the demonic types of people, they'll just find an excuse. And they could have got another employee, it could have been done more discreetly, he's raising his voice, all these kind of things. They always find a way to hurt people. They always find a way in there to commit schizoid crimes. They make you feel like you're, so even if it's not black and white, there's something wrong, and that's the schizoid function. Let's say you were walking by me, or we were on some sort of public ship, you were walking by me, and you looked a bit inebriated. You're on a public ship, you're allowed to be drunk. You know, you're not driving or anything, you're allowed to be drunk. Maybe it's not, and I see a drink, and it's like, and I say to people, oh, you see that kind of person over there, that blue-skinned person over there? Hey, he's just gonna do this, and they do that all the time, and he's gonna go over here, so everyone can hear what a piece of shit you are. And I've seen someone like you 100 times. How are your family gonna feel about that? Now, I could have that opinion, but why do I need to broadcast it? I'm demonic, right? You could wait till you go to your car, you know, go about your day, just be at peace. Especially if the person I'm talking about has had 15 million of his people killed, murdered, raped, and agonized by your. Now it gets even a more schizoid, right? Think about that. And schizoid is a nice way to put it, right? It's a nice way in what you could say. You could call them a cunt weevil, right? Which tells us that schizoids can make us angry. Think, oh, everyone is just fucked. The human race is fucked because they're going to demoralize you. There's nothing I can say that's negative that could demoralize someone as much as a schizoid creature. Just watching them work, watching the way they treat you, watch the way they treat others, watch the way they treat their children, it's demoralizing. Watch the way they treat each other, it's demoralizing. I need to drink some water. What's that? I gotta get going soon. I gotta get going now. So my body's pretty down, inside and out. Oh. Something wants to fall. Something wants to lay itself down. I'm gonna go take a look. Let's go. Schofield. Let's go, Schofield. Yeah, let's get over there. There's a lot happening. What does that mean? I'm going to be unfriendly. Yeah, I'm not going to be friendly. Right? I'm not going to be very friendly. Wow. Let's do this thing. I've met some very unfriendly people. Very unfriendly. Stop it. Stop accusing me. I'm born again. I'm born again. Stop accusing me. Thanks. I've already told you. Okay? What more you stop accusing me? Okay? What do you stop accusing me? You don't want to do something. I have nothing nice to say. I'm sorry. I don't take any interest in my stuff. Okay. Yeah, so violent people work in a hive mentality. They activate each other. It's not terrorist cells. It's white people. They activate each other. Whenever you'll meet any group of white people, but one of them is a total cunt, go along with it. One of them is a total cunt, and the rest will go along with it. One of them is a total cunt, the rest will go along with it. It's like that all the time. So we've got no point for this thing down here. Let's stop now. Let's go. I gotta warm up. Let's not give them your bodies surrounded by moisture. And that is it. I mean, how can you have heaven on earth when you've got people who can slander you and assault you and harass you in public with little to no provocation? You do that, it's going to cost you. Right? It's costing this one company $25 million prospectively. How do you think they feel about that? Probably not too good. I spent 2 years convincing them very subtly that I was poised to sue them for sexual harassment and other things. Completely caught on video and audio for $25 million. And for depriving me of a place to shop completely while living a block away, being tremendously liked by often as their favorite customer, and shopping there almost every day for 12 years. Okay? So you come to rely upon it, obviously, certain trust. And also, they didn't take the most peaceful and respectful means of satisfying certain concerns, which a sociopathic woman had initiated from outside the store. They don't know that I know that. All they know is that, as far as I know, they started preying on me for no reason, which they did. And it's weird that the person they chose to fire was someone who had the least to do with it, who was a single mother. You see how these people think, right? And the person who committed the greatest offense, out of a number of people making similar mistakes and being mentally ill, kept their job. Right? What's going on? You look like Big Steve. Right? Is this to do with me? Maybe you can. Yeah. And the owner himself looked me in the eyes, looked me in the fucking eyes, and wouldn't tell me he had a problem with it. Nothing after 12 years. It just goes to show you how fucking stripped of all decency this person was. How completely ill-equipped for life. Right? But these white people, they think they can buy love. They think they can earn love. Right? You can't even earn their respect. Love couldn't earn their respect. The greatest love on earth couldn't earn their interest because they are blind to it. They don't know what it's like to be a being. Their abstract sense of love and loyalty, right, is constantly subverted by priorities which have been changed by the poisonous nature and the schizoid nature of their living conditions for generations. It's really a sick issue. There's a lot of schizoids walking around. Awful schizoid people. Right? Did you? What do you think I think? Liars. Right? White people are liars. Right? They're liars. Our joy is protected. Right? And if our joy isn't present, we're probably protecting ourselves, aren't we? You have to protect yourself in life. You have to make the most of it. Anger is how we, and shock is how we make the most out of how to learn to be in line with life and be along line with the protection of ourselves and our flesh and blood and any and all knowledge and song of our flesh and blood. I don't share my songs with most people. I don't share anything. Why? It's that simple. Be the best person in the world and be put into a white society, and you'll never feel good about yourself. White people never feel good about themselves. They never feel good about themselves. They're always demoralizing. They're demoralized. They're schizoid. They cannot make you feel good. They are not strong. They've sold their lives, right? They've adopted a soul. They've adopted a financial instrument which is wended to their death by every hour of their day. Right? The soul can never work enough. That's why they work like a demon, endlessly. They work like demons. They work like people with souls, right? Which is a financial instrument that is not connected or grounded, right? Money can hurt you because it's not grounded in anything, right? Because it's grounded in a crime. It's grounded into the elimination of your living spirit. And the values of a human being. The system that you work for, that gives you human rights, doesn't consider you human, right? It considers you a monster. It considers a commercial entity. That's it. Mer Shul. Right? You've been broken. You've been sacrificed. You are now just a dead. I read this book in grade 7, and it's about a little boy climbing with some people, and he becomes a dead weight. And he's so ashamed because he's become a dead weight. But then he looks through this seeing glass, and they have a flag that he was holding, and it's like they put his flag. It's okay. We made it there for you. Right? You can take credit for something you didn't do because you have a soul. You're a corporate entity. You're a social person. A social person. You've got a social life. The life of human sacrifice. You're a schizoid socialite. The reality is based on covering up the truth. Version of the sun, the Sol of man. Your natural nature, your natural life. A finance shul, a financial entity. An android is like an irritating man.